the queen's 4 sons were born. And they were named Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna. And Lord Ramachandra and his 3 brothers are none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, appearing as Lord Ram, along with his expansions, for the purpose of relieving the universe of a very treacherous fellow called Ravana. And to assist Lord Ram, all the other demigods were also asked to take birth on this earthly realm to assist him. So anyway, Lord Ramachandra with his brothers grew up very nicely in the palace, and one day when they were about 14 or 15 years of age, actually 16 years of age, the king decides to coronate his oldest son, Lord Ram, as the prince regent. By this time, all 4 brothers are married, and something happens, and the 3rd queen, her name is Kaikeyi, her special assistant, puts a little seed of envy into Kaikeyi's mind that if Lord Ram, the son of the oldest queen, becomes king, then what will happen to you? It is quite likely that Ram may ill-treat you and put your son into prison or throw him out, or, you have no future. And she reminds this queen of 2 promises the king had previously made and told her, you can redeem these 2 benedictions whenever you want, no questions asked. Why don't you ask him these 2 at this opportune moment? Because tomorrow morning, Lord Ram will become the king. And the 2 things she somehow influenced her to asking was, 1, Lord Ram should be banished to the forest for 14 years. And 2, my son Bharata should become king instead. So anyway, there's a long-drawn drama. I'm going to skip all of that. Dasarath, although doesn't want to agree, is bound by promise, so he agrees. And that very next morning, Lord Ram, his wife Sita, and brother Lakshmana are banished to the forest. Bharata doesn't like this, so he does not accept the throne, but he lives himself in the forest, not far from the capital, but places Lord Ram's shoes on the throne as if the shoes are ruling the country and he's just executing their order. And now the storyline is that Lord Ram, as they're passing through the forest, about 13 years pass living in the forest, from great palatial comforts in the forest, without hardly anything, just eating fruits and roots and berries and living a very, very simple yet difficult life. And in the forest, there are wild animals, there are demons and rakshasas who are always attacking, etc., etc. One day, one particular demon, she approaches Lord Ram and proposes to him that he marry her, to which he refuses. And there's a little back and forth, and this demon, she thinks that Ram is not going to marry her because he already has a wife, Sita, and the best thing to do is kill Sita. And so as she's about to pounce on Sita and kill her, Lakshmana removes his dagger and chops off the demon's nose and ears. So she runs to her brothers in great anguish and anger and complains, and incites them to go fight Ram and Lakshmana. Meanwhile, while those 2 brothers have gone there, she goes and talks to her oldest brother, Ravana, and tells him, instead of telling him that what she did was not right, she tells him that Queen Sita is so beautiful that instead of being with Ram, I think it's best for she to be your queen. And Ravana then disguises himself as a hermit and comes to the place where Ram and Lakshmana were staying. He employs one of his uncles as a decoy, such that Ram and Lakshmana will leave their cottage and he will abduct her. So he does forcibly kidnap her and flies back to his palace, which is called Lanka. And now the search for Sita has begun. And Ram and Lakshmana are searching through all the forest because they have no clue where she is. And as they are progressing through the forest, they meet different people who give them little bits of information that they can keep proceeding. They come to a place called Kishkinda. And in Kishkinda is the first time they meet Hanuman. Now Hanuman is a minister and friend of a monkey king called Sugriva. And Sugriva is living a similar life. His own brother has kicked him out of his country and he's living on a mountain top without any resources. So Rama and Lakshmana make friendship. Lord Ram tells Sugriva, I will help you gain your wife and kingdom back, and you help me gain my wife back. They agree, they have a friendship. Lord Ram helps Sugriva. I'll skip all the details. And Sugriva is supposed to help Lord Ramchandra back. There's a slight delay because all of Sugriva's emails are lost and he forgets his calendar appointments and he has to be reminded. And then he sends these armies across all 4 directions in search of Sita. There is one search party that goes in the southerly direction, headed by Hanuman and other great monkeys and bears. And Hanuman comes to the brink or the shore of the ocean, and he has to jump 800 miles to Lanka to find Sita, which he does, finds Sita, brings the message back. Then Lord Ram and all of his billions of monkeys and bears, because he's living in the forest, he doesn't have trained warriors, he only has monkeys and bears. They build a bridge, they go to Lanka, kill Ravana, bring Sita back. And then 14 years are over, Lord Ramachandra goes back to Ayodhya and rules as the emperor for 11,000 years. This is like the shortest version of Ramayana that I can ever give. But that's sort of the basic story. So as I narrate certain things, hopefully it will have some context for those who don't know Ramayana. Now, within this framework, although this is the actual storyline, there is a very deep message that is conveyed through this storyline. And the deep message is this, that all of us are conscious living beings, as Prabhupada teaches, and for some reason or the other, which we'll not get into today, we find ourselves separated from the Supreme Lord. Our original home is in the spiritual world with Him, united in a relationship of loving service. For whatever foolish reason from our side, we have become separated from Him and we find ourselves within this material realm. And in this material realm, although we are living beings who are fully spiritual, we find ourselves trapped in a body made of the 5 elements and primarily controlled by our mind. Okay? So Ayodhya, the place where Lord Ramachandra originally lives, is the spiritual world, and Lanka, where Sita has been kidnapped, is the material body. And Sita, according to the Sri Vaishnava tradition, although she is his own energy, for the sake of lesson, she is considered as, just for the message, not in reality, considered to be a living entity like us. And that living entity is kidnapped by Ravana, who is the mind, or who personifies the mind, and he has 10 heads. Ravana's name is Dashagriva, the one who has 10 heads, or 10 necks literally. The 5 heads on one side represent the 5 senses that we have: nose, ears, tongue, skin and eyes, the 5 senses. And the other 5 represent the 5 working senses. Srila Prabhupada teaches us 5 working senses are 2 hands, 1 mouth, our legs, and the genitals and anus. So the mind captures the living entity and traps the living entity in the material body. And because that living entity is pining and crying and feeling severe separation from their love, their master, Lord Ram begins a search for this living entity. So, for each one of us, the Supreme Lord Krishna or Lord Rama is searching for us. And part of the search is that he sends his emissary, his representative, Hanuman. So Hanuman, quite literally, is a representative of, or personifies, the principle of Guru. And this is why the Guru first finds the living entity, conveys the message that the Supreme Lord will come for you, carries the message back to the Supreme Lord, I found your living entity, and brings the Supreme Lord to Sita, or to the living entity, to unite them back again. So Hanuman, a great personality, when we refer to him, we appreciate the role of a guru. And as the Ramayana unfolds, there are many obstacles on Hanuman's path, but it doesn't matter. He's convinced and determined that his service to Lord Ram is to reclaim all of the lost living entities. So that's the basic construct of the hidden meaning and the hidden purpose of the Ramayana. It is to awaken within us the sense that, oh yes, I have been disconnected from my relationship with Lord Ram and I need to re-establish it back. And since I cannot on my own do it, I'm helpless as Sita is, I am entrapped by this huge demon called my mind. There is no way unless Lord Ram himself comes, and for him to come, his messenger has to first come. And this principle, Srila Prabhupada, if you pick any of his books, pick any page at random, you will find this message front and center. That the role of a spiritual master in a person's life is the most vital relationship and most vital event that can ever happen. And therefore, human life is meant first for the search of a qualified guru or teacher. If human life is used for any other purpose, and whatever that purpose is, and how much ever successful that person is, at the end of the day, it's considered a failure. The human life is considered a failure if it's not used for the purpose of finding the right teacher and learning about Krishna. So in this massive body of Vedic knowledge, there is a little piece that has simple axiomatic statements. So it's easy to understand and convey. Prabhupada usually would refer to those axiomatic statements as certain books lawyers will have, and when they talk to each other, they only refer to those codes. Now, common people may not understand what those codes are. For example, if it's a tax attorney, they may say, oh, according to tax code 1.34 section 3. And for most people, we don't know that. But anyone who's an expert in tax knows, I know what that is. So there are such axiomatic statements, and one of the very first axiomatic statements is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And in English it means, therefore, now inquire into the absolute. Now, generally you never start a sentence with therefore. It's usually used as a conclusive statement. However, these axioms begin with therefore to say, now that you have a human life, therefore, use it in the search of the absolute truth. And the very particular phrase that is used is jigyasa. Jigyasa means to inquire. And as soon as you use the word inquire, the implicit meaning is you have to ask somebody. If you have to ask someone, it has to be a qualified teacher. Otherwise, in our lives, we always go to qualified people for our particular needs. Let's say I have a dental problem, and it wouldn't make any sense if I asked a car mechanic. I go to Pet Boys or someplace and say, I have a tooth problem, what do you think I should do? It doesn't make sense. They're not qualified in dentistry. They may be qualified in something else. But just because the car mechanic is my friend, or I know him very well and is very knowledgeable about cars, I still shouldn't be asking about dentistry. So, if I want to ask about my eternal spiritual reality, I need to find a qualified spiritual teacher. So that's the most important, I guess, role, if you were, and that's the Ramayana's message. Now, for those of us who know of Hanuman, when we say the word Hanuman, and the picture of Hanuman pops in our mind, let me ask, what do you think he stands for? Or what are some immediate qualities that come to mind? Anyone? Strength. Who said strength? Okay, thank you very much. That's strength. Excellent. You're very, very strong. And there are some very amazing stories of strength. In addition to strength, perhaps even more important than his strength, surrender. Obedient. Radharaman Prabhu? Dedication. Okay? Devotion. Intelligence. Thank you. Actually, Hanuman, although in the form of a monkey, generally people think monkeys are not so intelligent. I mean, they are. But the kind of intelligence that we're talking about is spiritual intelligence. So there is worldly intelligence. Worldly intelligence, and I saw a very sweet video of an orangutan sitting in a cage. There is a peanut outside the cage, and the orangutan takes a straw, makes a loop out of the straw, puts his hand out and draws the peanut towards him. We say very intelligent. Yeah, that's worldly intelligence. But Hanuman's not necessarily only that kind of intelligence. Higher than that is spiritual intelligence. And that spiritual intelligence in the Bhagavad Gita is referred to as buddhi. And Hanuman, one of his names is Buddhimatam Varishtham. And the adjective Varishtham means the best among the intelligent. So generally where you find brawn, meaning where you find strength, you don't find intelligence with it. In the famous David and Goliath story, Goliath has muscle power and David has intelligence. So wherever there is necessarily great muscle power, brain power usually is not so strong. And wherever brain power is very strong, muscle power may not be there. In Hanuman, both these strengths, they compete with each other as to who's to be better. That means he has unlimited intelligence with unlimited physical and spiritual strength. Another thing about Hanuman, and this is why a lot of devotees pray to Hanuman, because Hanuman is the emblem of success. So there is never failure for Hanuman. In fact, it is said that if a person is looking for embarking on any particular service for Krishna, if any one of us is given any service to do, and it can be daunting, and we're not sure whether it will ever see completion or success, then we are recommended to pray to Hanuman to give us both the intelligence and the spiritual strength to see our service to become successful. Now, I want to spend a few minutes on this theme of Hanuman being the original guru, if you will, in a sense. He is the personification of the guru principle. So the word Hanuman has many meanings. I'm going to stick to one today. I just don't have time because I have to tell you more things. Hanu is this jaw, this joint here, or this cheek, right below the cheek, the jaw is called Hanu. And Mana means broken. So he's got his name as Hanuman, the guy with the broken jaw. Now generally when you picturize that word, the guy with the broken jaw, you get a sort of a ugly or distorted or disfigured view. But here's what happened. And actually both his jaws, or both sides, have been hit or damaged. And here's what happened. Hanuman, as a young baby, if you will, one day looked up at the rising sun and thought of it as a very appetizing fruit and just jumped to taste that fruit. And as he jumped, I mean, babies can't jump, Hanuman could. And it was not just a few feet or a few yards or a few 100 feet or a few 100 yards. He leapt into the sky and went non-stop. And as he kept on going, the great king of the heavens, Indra, was a little disturbed as to how someone can challenge the normal order of things, and tried to stop this little baby. But this young person or fellow just wouldn't stop. So Indra had to take his thunderbolt weapon and hit this boy on his left jaw, and actually on his right jaw. And the power with which he was hit, he came down and crashed on a mountain on his, because he was hit on the right, he crashed on the mountain on the left. So both his jaws were, I guess, distorted or hurt. And that's how he was given the name Hanuman. However, his father, the wind god, Vayu, became very upset and decided not to flow. And when air stops to flow, everyone felt choked. They couldn't breathe. They were feeling claustrophobic. They couldn't. The whole world was suffocating. So they prayed to Vayu, please, please, don't punish the entire world because you're upset at Indra. So Lord Brahma personally came and gave Hanuman a whole bunch of blessings. One of the blessings was that you will never be killed by any weapon, including the most deadly weapon in creation called Brahmastra. It will never affect you. Indra came and blessed him. You will never be hurt by my thunderbolt weapon again. You will never feel... Oh, then Kubera, the treasurer of the demigods, came and gave him a benediction. You will never become tired in your life. Yama, the lord of death, came and blessed him that you will only die when you wish to, otherwise you will not die. You will have a very, very long life. All the other demigods came and offered him benedictions. You'll never feel thirsty, you'll never feel hungry, you'll never feel sad, you will always be happy, etc. So while they gave all these benedictions, Hanuman did not show any sense of happiness. Now if any one of us told you'll never feel hungry, thirsty, you'll never tired, it was great joy. Hanuman never showed any happiness. So Lord Brahma asked him, hey, we're all constantly giving you all these wonderful blessings. You don't seem happy. He said, I'm not happy with these blessings. I'm looking for the real one. So Lord Brahma told him, you will meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face and you will get to do some wonderful service for him. Hanuman leapt into the sky saying, thank you very much, I'm really happy now. But then he had a question. How will I know when I meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead who he is? So Lord Brahma told him, when you will meet this personality, although you are gifted with the best of strength, the best of intelligence, and the greatest ability to speak. Because Hanuman's gift is not that he is intelligent only, he can speak in the best way. He is called Vag Vidam Varaha, the best of speakers. In terms of the choice of words, the tone of voice, the emphasis, the pauses, everything is like the perfect speech giver. He said, when you will meet the Supreme Lord, your strength will not have any value. Your intelligence will be challenged and you will not be able to speak. And your whole body will tremble. And that's when you know you have met the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's how he got his name, Hanuman. Another name that Hanuman has is Anjaneya. Anjaneya means the son of Anjana. So his mother Anjana, she conceived through the wind god Vayu, this son Hanuman. So he is called Anjaneya. Also because he is the son of wind god, his name is, one of the names is Maruti or Pavanaputra. So Maruts, there are many Maruts in the universe, and the wind god there are many such, and so because he is the son of them, son of Vayu, his name is Maruti. Now these names are important and nice to know, but they have certain significance as well. So there is a special work called Yoga Vasishta, where the great sages have put together certain yogic principles for those who practice Ashtanga Yoga. And according to Yoga Vasishta principles, these words Vayuputra, son of wind god, and Anjaneya have certain significance. And this is what it is. First will work with us, but any desire or thought that we have first originates in the heart. And it is said that that thought, that something that I want to convey, that thought from the heart has to travel to the mouth. And this sound is carried from the heart through a passage. And this is the trajectory that that sound goes through. That sound that generates in the heart, because it is subtle, we cannot hear with these senses yet. It has to come into the world of audible sound for us. It begins in the heart, it travels up, goes up to the brain, comes down to the vocal cord area, and then out through the mouth by the movement of the tongue and the closing of and the teeth and all of the structure that we have. That's the trajectory. And the sound that begins in the heart, and because it is moved up by wind or air that is in the body, and anyone who's studied a little bit of yoga sutras and little bit in terms of the physiognomy, there are 10 kinds of airs that are moving in our body. 5 categories of airs, but 10 airs that are moving. Their names are prana, vyana, apana, udana, and samana. And each of them has 2 directions, so 10. So because of that, sound is carried by air and brought to this vocal cavity, and in the human physiognomy, that human cavity is called anjana. And because the sound comes from that cavity, that sound is sourced from the cavity, so it's called Anjaneya. And because it's the wind that carries it, is Vayuputra. But it is not ordinary sound that if I open my mouth and say, I want Coca-Cola, that sound is what we're talking about. We're talking about spiritual sound. It has to originate in the heart of the Guru, inspired by Krishna. And if any of us who studied Bhagavatam, the very first verse of Bhagavatam says, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikaveye. The Krishna reveals the spiritual knowledge in the heart of the spiritual master. And that the spiritual master has to bring it into this world of sound that we can hear. And that sound is carried by wind and brought to this cavity called Anjana. And that sound that comes from the spiritual master's mouth is Anjaneya. And that is why Hanuman is considered a guru. So there are different meanings for that word Anjaneya. Then another meaning for Hanuman, or another word, is of the category of monkeys called Kapi. The word Kapi literally means monkey. But in Sanskrit, the word Ka and Pi. Ka in Vedic sound means bliss or happiness. And Pi means Pibati, one who drinks constantly the joy or happiness of chanting Lord Ram's names. And another meaning is Vanara. Vanara also means monkey. But Vanara, quite literally, is Va Nara. In Sanskrit, Nara means human-like or human. And Va Nara means really human? That's what it means. So these spiritual masters, extraordinary spiritual masters, although appearing in human-like forms, they do extraordinary service. In fact, so extraordinary that it is beyond human capacity. And because it is beyond human capacity, they are called Vanara. Nara is ordinary human beings. Vanara are extraordinary human beings, or so extraordinary that it is far beyond human capacity. So the spiritual master's work is far beyond human capacity. And the spiritual master or masters can accomplish things that even the demigods cannot. I'll end with this. The demigods are so powerful that they can supply rain to the entire universe. They can supply air to the entire universe, sunlight, everything. But there is one thing that they cannot do. They cannot transform our false ego. Our false ego tells us we are the enjoyers of this world. And the transformation of that false ego is that I am a servant of Krishna. And that the demigods, one, it's not their function. Second, it's not their capacity. Only the spiritual master has that capacity. And therefore, instead of worshipping and praying to all the demigods, we pray to the spiritual master who is the representative of all the demigods and more. And that is why we begin first with offering our respects to the spiritual master first. And therefore it is far more extraordinary and in the category of Vanara. And finally, another meaning of monkey in Sanskrit is Hari. Hari is the Supreme Lord Krishna. He is a lion and a monkey. And the word Hari means one who steals away, one who removes. What is it that the spiritual master is removing? He is removing darkness from our heart. The ignorance that we have, the ignorance of our relationship with Krishna, or even the existence of Krishna or Ram or God, that is removed from the heart by the spiritual master. And Hanuman performs that function. I had some more stuff, but we're near the end of our discussion. Any thoughts, comments? I've been asked to speak a few more times. So in that context, I'm sort of building it over the next couple of weeks. So thank you for your patience while I went through a little bit more philosophical than really wonderful stories. But unless this is clear, the stories remain stories and don't really touch the heart. At least that's my my realization of it. Any thoughts, comments, objections? All right. As you heard Yashodanandan speak earlier, some of you may have come later. One of our very, very dear devotees who's been, when we speak of Hanuman, we cannot not but think of Vishwakarma Prabhu as a very dedicated servant of Kishore Kishori for the past 25 years. His main service has been to cook for the deities. And if anyone who knows Vishwakarma Prabhu, he never fails. Even if there is a blizzard, there are sub-zero temperatures, his health is failing, whatever is going on in the world, he never fails. There is never a day that he has missed. And there are some days, because of his health, he may have come late. Usually, some of us who have also cooked for the deities, we know that the cooking for the deities, because of all the items that need to be done, you need at least, however good cook you are, you need at least an hour and a half. Vishwakarma can do all of that in 35 minutes. How? I don't know. I've seen it personally, been in the kitchen with him, and he can whip it up in 35 minutes. And for all of us, or many of us, our devotional service has been nourished by his cooking, his very wonderful cooking, and his just dedicated service. One of the things is, I've cooked, not that I know very well, but I've cooked in this kitchen, Sunday feasts and all that. But every time you're in that kitchen and you're making large volume, and there is something or the other, you always think that that's burning, that doesn't have much salt, oh I forgot this and that. And I found myself and other cooks running back and forth trying to get things done on time. In the 25 years that I've seen Vishwakarma, I've never seen him running in the kitchen. I've never seen him desperate or short of time. And every time he will whip up something fantastic. And he's cooked for 25 people, 100, 500. For our Rath Yatra, we fed over 3,000 people and he cooked. And he will come for the... he's just a fascinating personality. For whatever reason, his health is failing really miserably. And he's pretty much at the very last phase of his life. His son is here, Govinda, and his family is also here. So we request that after this, when you go have dinner and come back for the 7:30 Kirtan, we would like all of us to pray to Kishore Kishori and Srila Prabhupada that whatever is the next step in Vishwakarma's life and journey back to Krishna, that may it be painless and may it be easy for him, and may he continue whatever service he was doing and more for Kishore Kishori as one of the most loyal persons for Kishore Kishori and their family. So our best wishes and for the family and our strength and prayers. So all of us, if you're going to be here for the 7:30 Kirtan, we request that you please include Vishwakarma Prabhu and his family in your prayers. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the next piece is, oh, you're here?
Hare Krishna. So a couple of quick things. One, if this is your first time here, we have a special gift for you at the guest services table in the lobby, so please stop by. And also we kindly invite you upstairs for the feast. So through these double doors and up the stairs to our right. So please eat nicely. There's always plenty for everybody. And then come back down quick because we have some fantastic kirtan lined up through 8 o'clock. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. These are bunches. These in corner. Oh my God. Last Friday. Last Friday. Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Shakadesha Sarine Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Kichori, Jaya Kichori, Jaya Kichori. किशोरी जय किशोर किशोरी जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल Can I have one? Lizzie, can I have it? What, pinwheel? Yeah. Okay, bring those over there. Remember, lady.
Can we move it to the middle? Oh, that's fine. How many tunes are in that? Okay. Let's get started. Is it okay? Yeah. Just make sure you sing right in the mic.
Huh?
Make sure you sing into the mic.
Okay, yeah.
Do it all the way close.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haraya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha. Haraya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha. Yaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Yaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Govinda Ram Srimati Sudan. Govinda Ram Srimati Sudan. Girihari Gopinath Narana Mohan. Girihari Gopinath Narana Mohan. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita. Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Soraja. Kishore Kishore, Jaya Kishore Kishore, Jaya Kishore Kishore, Jaya Kishore Kishore. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gopamanande, Hari Hari Bol, Shri Kishore Kishori Ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadmani Ki, Shri Gauranitai Ki, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Haribo. Premanande Hari Haribo.
Great, what? Thank you so much. Thank you. TBD.
Nice kirtan.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, that's also TBD. It could be a month. It could be a year. It could be. We have no idea. We have no idea. So at least a couple months for now, and then we'll go from there. So yeah. Thank you so much.